Have you ever felt pressure to buy luxury items in order to unbox on YouTube? I might even quit YouTube, I'm not sure. Can't remember if one of you asked me about work, but big announcement. Hi everyone, welcome to another video. We're going to be doing a Q&A and this video is going to be long because it's going to contain a little bit of a clothing haul. I'm going to talk about bags I'm selling. There's been a lot of chatter on social media recently with different people selling off their bags for their own personal reasons. We're going to go through that. I've had some of you asking me for an update on our company, for an update on our moving journey. So we're going to move house hopefully this year, maybe beginning of next year, but hopefully this year. And I'm going to explain all of that and like what's going on there, including a lot of you asking for an opinion on these TikTokers who have lifted the lid. And actually one of you used the word trolling luxury brands over alleged items that are not made in Europe. So we're going to go through all of it. There's a lot to go through. Grab yourself a drink because this video is going to be like 30 minutes long, I think, not even joking you. Okay, let's start with the haul, and I'm going to go through the bags that I'm selling, still selling. One in particular I put up for sale back in February, but then I took it down because I didn't want to sell it, but now it's back up for sale again because I've decided, Sophie, you're not using it. Let somebody else have it. Someone who is going to use it, including this, which I've added to the sale for reasons I will come on to. This is a mini rectangle, by the way. Really hard to get in lambskin black. It was not easy. Right, let's start with the clothing haul. And you will notice in this clothing haul that I have styled the outfits with the bags I'm selling, which I will obviously explain why I'm selling them and what I'm selling, etc. The first outfit is this. This to me is very, very Christian Dior. This skirt in Christian Dior would be upwards of £6,000 or £7,000. I know because I looked at one before and I was going to get one, but then I kept seeing them all over the internet. Like not Dior ones, but just regular brands making them. And I thought the Dior one's gorgeous and it's a really nice heavy weight. But who wants to spend that kind of money when it looks just like something from somewhere else? And this is really good quality. This has got 3 levels of layers of tulle in it. So it's not too sheer. It is beautiful the way the skirt falls, but it comes as a suit. So it's one price and you get the whole look, which I think is really good. This jacket, what I also like is it's so versatile. You could wear this with jeans or with smart trousers. You don't even have to wear it with the skirt. The jacket has got a slight peplum to it where it flares out here. And close up, it has a gold fleck running through the material. Also with these little sequins. Can you see these tiny sequins? So these sequins are in red, blue, green, purple, pink, gold, silver, all different tones of sequins. The next is, I didn't think I was going to like this skirt, but I kind of do. It's a black skirt. By the way, I'm going to link to everything below. And if you don't want to use the links, I will put in the product codes so that you can go just straight to their website and look up the codes if you don't want to use the links. So the next outfit is this shirt, this blouse, which zips up at the back of the neck. Really easy to get on, very comfortable. It's got like a little pearl button on the cuff. I like it. Really reminds me, there's a brand, I think it's called Totem. They've got, or they had a jacket that had like an inbuilt scarf that went around the neck, and I really feel like this trim across the edge reminds me of that. And this blouse is made from acetate. It's not transparent, it's not see-through, you're not going to see your underwear through it. The skirt is a maxi skirt, it comes with the belt. Again, this is why I like this brand, because they do have things every so often that come with additional accessories that don't cost you any extra. The next, which is one of my favourites, and I don't like skirts or dresses, but it's one of my favourites, it's this. This is a stretchy cream. You can also get it in black. Absolutely gorgeous dress. It's very designer inspired, the way it has got pearl buttons, gold and pearl buttons on the front of it. It's really comfortable and it's the perfect weight of fabric. So it's very, if you look here, it's very, very stretchy, very elegant. And then the jeans are, they've got to be, and I'm not even exaggerating, probably my favourite pair of jeans that I own currently. They are a Palazzo jean. I carry weight on my thighs, and I don't know whether you get this if you're the same, but do you ever find trousers and jeans are baggy on the waist and so tight on the thigh that they don't look nice because they're not meant to be tight in the thigh, they're meant to be loose through the thigh? I find this. Now, these jeans on me are a little bit tighter on the thigh, but I don't mind that because it gives a really nice silhouette. If you've got slimmer legs, you're going to get more of that Palazzo look. But if you do have bigger legs like me, I wanted to show how this looks. And I've worn it with this. Look at this, it's sheer. It's like a sheer, beautiful hoodie. And then I wore it with this over the top. So this is a tweed golden cream thread jacket with pearl buttons. I've got 3 more looks. The next one is the same jeans wearing this t-shirt, and on here, this is not printed, this is embroidery and then it's been stitched on. It's almost like a lace. This is a really nice thick cotton, 100% cotton. Also 100% cotton is this top. I have a top like this, some of you might remember it. I bought it from Victoria Beckham, and I don't know, I don't get what goes on with that top, but it's gone yellow. It's gone like, it looks stained, but it's only ever been dry cleaned. It's really well looked after. It's fit for the bin. But when I saw they had this on the website, I wanted this because I thought this is going to be like a dupe for me of that top. And actually, this is easier to get on. That Victoria Beckham one, like one of the shoulders is like asymmetric and it's really weird to get on, but this is really, really comfortable. Also 100% cotton. I also have this jacket as well. This is another tweed jacket. It is a wool mix. I love the way it's got these kind of, it's like cinched in at the waist and there's 2 points on the front and then it's slightly higher at the back. I love the way it looks. And then finally, also with the jeans and a top that I don't know if you can still get. You know the little cropped off top that I'm wearing with the stripes on it? This is from Goelia, but I got it last year. I bought it last summer and I don't know if you can still get it. If you can, I'll link to it. But the little cropped off shirt, again, it's sheer. I'm wearing it as a jacket. And for me, in the summer, if you want to cover your arms, if you want to stay out of the sun, but if you want something really lightweight, I love the way this is cropped off and I love the way it looks. So, and as I say, I'll link to everything below. I'll put in product codes so that if you don't want to shop via a link, you don't have to, you can go direct. They have given me coupon codes, and I say coupon codes, okay, I've got several coupon codes. I'll put them all in the description because it's quite a lot to explain. But I have one really good coupon code which gets you 30% off if you buy 5 items or more. Like 30%, that's a lot. And then I have other coupon codes that if you only want to buy 1 item, let's say, you can get a discount on that. So what do I think about people, a lot of people on social media right now selling off bags? Like, why do I think they're doing it? Why am I doing it? Lydia, I know that Lydia has sold off a lot of her stuff and she's done it very rightly for security reasons. I actually need to watch her video on why she sold the bags, but I've seen some of the other girls who have done videos like as a response to it, and I've watched what they've had to say. I think that selling your stuff is a very personal decision, and I'm not one to go and judge a person for doing it. I can only talk about my personal reasons for it. So for me, this year, and this is the first question to do with us moving house. This year we're moving and we're going to move away from London. And initially we were looking at moving right out into the country, and we thought we knew the area we wanted to go to. And we looked at 2 houses, very nice, but the area was not like the rosy, picturesque area we had in our minds when we got there, and we didn't like it. And also, we both felt that although it would be lovely to go there as like a couple of weeks holiday break, to live there as people that have come from the London area, we felt that we would find it quite hard not having anything to do. And in making that decision, David has now thrown back into the mix that he potentially wants to leave the UK. So we were going to leave the UK, but then we looked into it and we were like, yeah, but where do we go? And then we thought we knew where we wanted to go, but then it didn't feel right, or it was too far away or whatever from family and such. But now David is like saying to me, oh, I feel like I want to move away again. So that's why everything's very much on hold. But for me, I'm so lucky. I love bags, you know, they interest me. But I've got so many that it's actually gross, you know, and they're all piled up on top of each other. Like I've got like a shelf, really nice set of shelves where I keep the bags. And I've got so many that they're now like so. I'll have them all stacked on the shelf, like neatly in line like this. And I've got other ones that I've had to balance on top. It's just not good. It's just, I'm sick of it. And so many of the bags I don't use, or I have never used. And this is one such example. So this is the Chanel mini rectangle. It's beautiful. It's in black lambskin. It is just in the greatest condition. The only annoying thing is I've managed to get most of it off, and I don't even know if it's going to show now because it has kind of gone. But the lambskin is so soft. There it is. Can you see on the top there? There is a little indentation. There's two. There's one there and one there. Just where the chain, literally where it's been in storage, where the chain was resting on the top, like that, for months. That dented the bag. That is how soft lambskin is, so you have to be aware of that. But gorgeous bag, never been used, and it needs to go. The other bag that I've decided I am still going to sell is this Versace bag. I also have got, it's never been used, I bought this from Farfetch a couple of years ago, and I even got with it the matching sneakers that still have their security tag on them. Never used them, so that's going to go too. I did have a lot of you asking after this bag. I know, isn't it gorgeous? This is very limoncello colour, Chanel Cocoa top handle. And when I did that sales video, I had a lot of you emailing me saying, I want this bag, take my money, how much do you want? But in the end, I didn't sell it because I wasn't 100% on selling it. I kept thinking in my head, will I use it? I should use it, I'm gonna use it. So I pulled it and didn't sell it. But now I'm going through my wardrobe and I'm like, Sophie, like, you haven't ever used it. Let it go to someone who is. Another one I'm gonna sell is this. Some of you might remember, this is I think it's called My Lock Me bag. And I got this from the boutique in San Moritz when I went skiing with my friend Phil years ago. I have actually used this, but it's not a bag that I've reached for in years. And so again, I'm just being very ruthless right now. I'm like, if I'm not using it, it needs to go. So why do I think other people are selling their bags? Before we go on to questions, I think security has got a big part to play. I think when you're online and you're naturally showing people what you've got, it can be problematic, more so for some people than others, for various reasons. And I understand why someone would feel a target for having a home full of very, very expensive things, which is in part a reason why I'm selling some stuff as well. Because aside the fact I don't have the space for it, when I move house, I don't want to be taking stuff with me that I'm not using. I just don't want to do it. But also there is that security aspect, you know, of let it go. Let's go on to your questions. The first one is from Justin Valdi ZZZ. How do you feel about the brand Tod's? Do I own any pieces? I don't really love this brand. It's not really my vibe, but I could see myself growing into it. So no, I don't own anything. Now this next question, this is like so many of you writing to me about this. So your question, your username is Fur2Go. What do you think of, you know, all these TikTokers exposing luxury brands? So basically, if you haven't heard, from what I gather, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like, because I've done some research, because I was just like, what is this? So apparently, some TikTokers have blown the cover of luxury brands, some luxury brands, and it looks like they are not made in Europe, like they claim they are. It looks like they're actually made in China, and then China send them back to Europe, or send them to Europe, where they're assembled or something small is done to them that allows them to put made in France, made in Italy on it, when actually it wasn't. The bulk of it was made somewhere else. What do I think about this? I can't say I'm surprised. I don't feel, when it came out, I was like, it didn't shock me. I didn't feel surprised. It wouldn't shock me. I wouldn't put it past them. There are some brands that I doubt it's the case. Like, for example, Hermes. I doubt it's the case with them, on their bags in particular. I would imagine that they very much are made in France, although I could be wrong on that. But I'm not surprised. And do I think it's going to put people off buying luxury? I actually think people have been put off buying luxury anyway because of the crazy prices. I've seen so many people, friends in my own life, like one of my friends in particular is very into luxury. She and I have not really bought anything big in a long time because it's just like, she keeps saying to me, and she's so right, she's like, Sophie, that's a really nice two-week trip away somewhere, or it's a bag that's not that great quality anyway, or doesn't look that special, or feels quite boring or whatever. And I get it. So I think that prices have put a lot of people off, but I think this could be the nail in the coffin, to be honest. The next one is from Cynthia, who has said, is luxury over? I see luxury brands now and everything seems so mundane from the overexposure. Do you know, Cynthia, I've got to agree. Do you remember I did a video several weeks ago now where I said that I'd really slowed down buying luxury, and I had my reasons for it. And, you know, I was saying in that video, I feel like everything's got a bit boring. There's nothing fresh, there's nothing new that I'm seeing. Nothing that I want anyway. Everything's too expensive for what it is, but it just feels tedious. It just feels boring, you know. Like, I love the Lady Dior, but I've got about 5. I don't need any more. You know, I love the classic flap, but I have 3. I don't need any more, and they're too expensive. So I kind of feel the same. I do feel quite bored of it. Yo Janos, I think is your username. What's a handbag you didn't expect to use more frequently than you thought? Okay, I'm looking at it. It's behind you, and I would reach for it if I could, but it's slightly out of reach. It's the Fendi Sunshine tote in the small size. I bought this bag. It's very similar to the Lady Dior in the medium, same size, similar design. It's a bag that I have used so much. It's still in great condition and I love it. And I would say I've used it more than I had down for me using it. It just fits all my stuff. Karen Louisa has said, if you could only keep or buy bags from one brand for the rest of your life, which would it be? Do you know something? I don't know. Probably Dior. I don't know, Dior or Fendi. I really like those two brands. That's a difficult one to kind of like be able to choose from. Anderson 66. If quality costs of luxury brands were equal to what bag, what would you choose? Would you still buy? I think you said Hermes. And also Penelope Brocha has said, do you have any regrets buying your Picotin? It's stunning. Thank you. I would say I don't have any regrets buying that bag at all. I love it. I look at it. It's like, it's in my office. And I have it on my shelf in my office. I know it sounds really weird, but you know, I like bags. And I just love looking at it. And every so often I take it out, and I haven't used it much recently, only because I've only been really going to the gym and going to work, and I haven't really been anywhere. But I've got a few things coming up in the next few weeks that I have plans for. But Anderson 66, if quality costs of luxury brands were equal to the bag, what would you choose? I really think Cartier. I don't own one of their bags, but I've been up close to them. Their quality is really good for the price. You would be surprised at their prices. They are not super, super, super expensive. Bulgari as well. Same thing. Great quality. Fair prices for what you're going to get. Layla Ralia. Do you think we will see more and more people turn away from obvious luxury brands like Hermes? I don't know. I think it depends on the person. I think you're always going to have people that are still into it. and will never get bored. But then you will also have people that are like, no, like again, coming back to myself, I can only talk for myself. I have gone off stuff, you know, I am still buying bits and pieces, but not on the level that I used to, because I feel like I've got everything. I've reached a point in my life where I'm absolutely swamped in clothes and bags and shoes, and that's an understatement. And I am giving away so much stuff. And like, when I tell you 3 bin bag fulls of clothes last week alone, and it doesn't, in my closet room, it doesn't even look like I gave away that much. It's still, everything's still crammed in and doesn't quite fit on the rail. It's awful. The next one is from Gavin, 92. We know David isn't a luxe fan, but what's a product he refuses to go for, non-luxury, excluding cars? David's not really into luxury. He likes eating out. And he likes sneakers, but not like big designer ones. He likes Nike sneakers, and he always keeps like a fresh pair in his wardrobe. Like, he'll take it out and he'll start wearing them, and he'll immediately go and buy a new pair to replace, so he's got a clean pair going. He also likes Alexander McQueen sneakers, you know, the ones with the really chunky sole. Arivika 2000. What about Longchamp? I love this brand, but no one talks about it. The quality price is so good. Okay, so I love this brand, and you know, there's a little bag that they do. I think it's called the pliage bag, but it's the tiniest one they do. And I keep seeing it on my Instagram, where people put a little twilly scarf around the top handle on it and like put charms on it. And it's the cutest thing, and it's like £80 or something. But the reason why I haven't bought it is because it's so small. I don't want to do what I normally do, which is buy a bag that's super cute but is too small for my needs, and I don't use it. But I will say I really like that brand. The next one is from Hudayin. I hope I've said that right. Are you leaving big cities and living in the countryside to save money? Work remote in 20s, 30s. So, to answer your question, we're not moving away to save money. We're moving away for like a better quality of life and more space. Things have kind of, you know, changed a lot in London, and it's not as secure as it once was. But at the same time, as I said earlier, we were looking at the countryside. However, we've come to realise that we need to go somewhere where there are at least a couple of restaurants or something down the road, walking distance. Because we would miss it, and I just would go insane if there was nothing to do but go on walks every day. Like, I love that for a little holiday, a little break, but to live there, some people love the countryside. Like, David would happily live in the countryside and do that all the time. Me, on the other hand, I just can't do it. Jensen has said, if you can only keep one bag, which one would it be? Not a work bag. This is an easy one for me, Jensen. I would keep, how many of you remember, several Christmases ago, David got me a Lady Dior, and it was houndstooth. And I will never get rid of that bag because of the sentimental value. I don't use it much because I don't want to ruin it, but I will never get rid of it. And I have so many, like, that Christmas was particularly good that year. It was just, you know, when you just get a Christmas where it all comes together and it's all really good. And so that's one I would definitely keep. Sam's Brighton Bead says, do you take luxury bags out, or just normal things, or do you save them for best? I would say for me, it depends where I'm going. If I'm going somewhere potentially sketchy, then I either don't take a bag at all and I keep everything in zipped up pockets, or I take a bag that's not expensive and not a big brand. But if I'm going somewhere, I do try and use my stuff, I will say. So I normally go out for lunches and dinners a lot, or, you know, I see my family and my friends a lot, and I do use my bags for that. So I try and use them as much as possible. iHearts Now has said, are you political at all? Not really, it doesn't really interest me. I don't trust what they've got to say, so no, I'm not really into it. Lovely Kaylin has said, this goes back to that question earlier about what do you think of these manufacturers on TikTok being called out for like the stuff not being made in Europe. We've covered that. GPBD DB. What is your favourite designer and why? I have to say I really liked Karl Lagerfeld's designs. His vision, his styling was quite my taste, so I would say that. Sarah, CCCCC, has said favourite bag charms. Okay guys, I am obsessed with Pop Mart. These blind boxes, they're just so good. Like, go and Google Pop Mart and Google blind boxes. So I've got so many different ones in my collection. I have a Crybaby, which is this. I've got, this is called a Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And look, you like hang them on your bag or whatever. They're quite cute. I've got more than this. I've got a whole bag full of these. Then I got this. I got this in Japan. This is a little Hello Kitty. I like this one. Then I'm obsessed with Labubus, and I even got the cases to keep them in. So I've got this blue one, I've got pink, I've got yellow, I've got a few. So I'm really into those, like just cute little bag charms. Nora, love you Nora, love Nora. How are you, David, and the bunnies doing? All is good, bunnies are well, which is always a good thing. Valeria Denise has said, do you still want a Constance? 100%. And I am stalking loads of pre-loved websites right now and have been for a little while. And when the right one comes up, I'm very specific on the leather I want it to be in. I'll take any colour, but it has to be a size 24 and it needs to be Epsom leather. And when I see the right one for the right price and the right condition, I will be pulling the trigger 100%. Kelly M, 1030. Thoughts on Loewe Madrid bag or any Loewe bags? I like Loewe. If you don't like a logo, I think they are fabulous. The London Atelier has said, are you happy with your Vivea shoes? Vivea shoes, I work with them, but I'm also a customer. Their stuff is genius. They are so comfortable, but they are very cute design. I actually yesterday bought a pair of their Mary Janes. The last pair left in my size in red, and I can't wait for them to turn up. Unhei Cho, can you do a video on your car journey? My husband and I love your car content. I need to do more car stuff. I haven't done anything in the longest time. I can do that. The next one is from Foggy View. This is also to do with the scandal on TikTok. Also, Jamelia said the same thing. Waspen Bezel has said, where do you get your handbag organisers from? Normally Etsy, but Handbag Angels, I don't know if you've heard of them, but I've been looking at them recently. Lee Lemmy has said, what's been your biggest luxury regret? Oh God, I got so many. I think biggest luxury regret's gotta be Chanel jewellery that has crystals and pearls in it, because the stuff I've got where the crystals and pearls haven't fallen out, I'm scared to wear. And the stuff I've got where it has all fallen out looks cheap and fake, and it's just a waste of money. So that's probably a regret, I would say. Okay. This one is from blah, blah, blah. I like your username. Expensive clothes or shoes that weren't worth the money. I personally, it's cut off here, but expensive shoes or clothes that weren't worth the money. Again, I kind of feel like I've got a long old list here of things that I could go through. But definitely Chanel costume jewellery is one thing. Oh my God, I mean, I've done so many videos over the years about things that have been failures. So I'd need to think about this, but I've got a lot. That's why I need to think about it. Indiana Sailor has said, how do you pick your bunnies' names? Tell you how we do it. You know, when you just, it's like, I know it's like not a very good comparison, but I guess it's like when you have a baby and you have some name ideas in mind, but you need to get to know their personality first and their aura and their vibe. So when we've got rabbits before, we normally have like a few names we like, but we don't name them for like a few days or a few weeks until we feel like we know what they're like. Like Jessie's quite sassy and quite hands-off, like don't touch me. But you can feed me, but don't touch me. And we just felt like Jessie really worked for her as a name. So yes. You also wanted to know your average diet routine. I mean dietary routine, examples, protein, veggies. So I consume a lot of protein. I put on a lot of weight when I came back from Asia because we were gone a month, and you know, we were eating out 3 times a day at restaurants, and restaurant food's really calorific, you know. So I put on like a lot of weight, and I've shifted a lot of it because I've been going to the gym 5 days a week, and then on a weekend we do an 8-mile walk. every weekend, and I've got really into it. I love it. But yeah, I eat a lot of protein, have a lot of protein shakes, a lot of protein bars. I find that for me, protein keeps me full and it helps me build muscle. I would do a video on this, but I tend to have a few people that get really upset whenever I talk about food, because they're like, oh, you're not a nutritionist. And it's like, I know I'm not. I'm not saying I am. I'm just talking about my own personal experiences. So I probably won't do a video on it, but that's kind of what I would say there. Sophie, right, you said, can I do a closet tour? I can't. I won't. I tell you why. I've got a really nice closet room. It is just lovely. But I have got a gross amount of stuff in my life, and it's driving me mad, and it needs to go. The problem is I wear all of it. And I have had to buy, over the years, 2 industrial, like minimum 1.5 meters, 2 meter long clothes rails. And I started off with 1 in there, and I was like, Sophie, no more. Like, no more clothes rails. It already looks ugly. No more. I've now got 2 in there, and it's made the whole space look so gross, so ugly. You've got to squeeze past all of this stuff, and like everything on the clothes rails and in the cupboards, there's so much in there that I can't get things to sit nicely on the rails. And this is why I'm giving stuff away. This is why I'm selling stuff. I just don't want to take all of this stuff with us when we move, particularly if we're moving abroad. I don't want to take a bunch of all this stuff, you know. Axola May, hi, looking back at your older purchases, which one surprises you as one you still love and use? It's got to be the Lady Dior. I love that bag. I still use it now and I love it. I have many more questions about the whole scandal, from J Tricia to Flow by Nicole to Ballistic 76. I've got loads of you asking about that. I can do a video on it, let me know. Moving on, sorry, this video is so long. I did tell you, it's gonna be like an hour. KL5 has said, do you think logos and louder luxury will have its time again? Oh, 100%. And actually, I would say, you're gonna get people even right now on both sides of the fence. People that love a logo and people that don't. And I think that we're seeing social media push trends in a way that, if you go back 20 years, didn't exist. Before, it was very much celebrity driven, I feel. But now, trends can change in days if enough people on social media all come out and go, buy quiet luxury, buy loud luxury. You know, if enough people do it, it can really turn the tide. So I think that for some people it will never be out of fashion, but yeah, I think it will come back round again. In fact, I feel like it probably already is. I feel like quiet luxury was very last year, and it's still here, and a lot of people love it. But I feel like the logos are coming back around. Jasmine Holtz, love you, has said, what kind of jewellery is worth buying, or is real gold and silver from a jeweller's better? I would say yes. I'll try and put it in here if I can find it. I found a really interesting thing on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, where someone has gone to Cartier. They've taken like the love ring, the love bracelet, the Justin Clou, I think it's called, you know, the screw bracelet, etc. And they've weighed them to get the grams of gold, and then they've worked out the actual price of what that thing's worth. And you're paying for the name. Yes, they're gorgeous, but you are paying for the name. And some people don't mind doing that, and I get it. It's like, if you want it, you want it, so you're going to go and buy it. And you don't care that you're paying for the name. You're well aware of that. But I think that actually, from an investment point of view, going to a jeweller and buying quality pieces that aren't brand named is a better, more solid investment. Yola Bolla, you have a really good question, which is to do with, basically, have my views on luxury changed over the years? 100%. Again, going back to that video that I did a couple of weeks ago, where I think I called it like answering your questions, why I've slowed down on buying luxury. I don't feel that it's worth the quality anymore. I don't feel like it's worth the price anymore. It's not going to stop me buying. You know, when I did that video, I had a lot of people like, I want to say like twist my words quite a lot and say, you said you were never going to buy luxury again. And my response was, if I'm lucky enough to live until I'm 80, God willing, For me to come on here and say I am never going to buy anything ever again would be, why would I say that? That would be a silly thing to say, and it would be inaccurate and not possible. I'm into luxury. I'm always going to buy it. But one thing I did say is that I've slowed down, which is very true. If you compare me to how I was, say, 5-10 years ago, I'm not spending on the way that I was. Like, I don't know why, I'm just not as interested in it. I feel as though their prices are just not worth it. Cage Vantage, is David getting a new car? So at the moment, so I am looking at getting a new car. David is not, but because we might leave the UK, I'm kind of backing off getting a new car because I don't want to order a car which is going to turn up in 2026 when I might not be here. So I've backed off that for now, but apparently they've said, we'll keep your allocation open for you. It's not gone because you've said no right now, which is great. But until we've sorted out where we want to live, we've decided we're not going to do any purchases like that, just because it's so, like, everything's so up in the air. Magina Pianist has said, do you do meetups in person with your subscribers? Do you know what? I would love to. And going back like more than 10 years, I have met up with people before, but as I've got bigger and bigger on social media, and as I've grown up and evolved, and, you know, also David has got his own opinions on it, I don't meet up with people because you never know what could happen. This next one, it's a good question. It's from Claire. Do you really like Vivea shoes? I think they're not nice. Sorry, love you and your channel. Claire, that is totally fine. I always say this, absolutely fine. Do you know, and I've spoken about this on my Patreon actually, when I work with a brand, and I do not work with many, you may have noticed that, I work with Ideal, Vivea, Goelia, I've done a few bits with Lily Silk, Urban Revivo, love them. That's 5 brands. Oh, and Current Body, which, oh my gosh, like, I've got something amazing to show you about them actually. 6 brands that I can think of. I turn down the majority of stuff that comes to me because I don't like the product, or it's not something that I would personally wear. But Vivea shoes, or in fact any of the brands that I show you, they are brands that I love and I wear, and I give them my own money. I wouldn't personally ever promote a brand that I thought was yucky. I wouldn't do it, and I just wouldn't do it. And I can't prove it anymore really, unless I show you receipts, which I can't because it's got like addresses on it and stuff. But I actually bought a pair of Vivea shoes just yesterday. I bought a pair of red Mary Jane shoes on there. I forget the name of them, Tamia or something, Tania. I just love their stuff. So, but I respect that you don't like them, that is fine. Nigel Crow, is there any colour of luxury bags you would like to add to your collection, like green, blue, etc.? I would. Oh, I quite like green. You know that, like, there's a shade of Hermes green that's very emerald, and I think that's really beautiful. I like that. Leslie Adina, love you, has said, I feel like travel is the ultimate luxury, regardless of accommodation, etc. Where to next? So we want to do the States. We also want to do Athens. There's so many places we want to go to. We're just thinking this year, again, we don't know when we're going to be able to do it, for another reason. So, I can't remember if one of you asked me about work, but big announcement. We are retiring this year from work, and I am on my knees. I'm so tired. I'm so burnt out. I've been doing this for years. David feels the same way. So what we're doing is, for the last 2 years, we've been winding down slowly our business. So I work in marketing. We've got a very small at-home business. And what we've been doing is, for the last 12 years, we've been heavily investing in different areas and saving, but mainly investing. And the plan is, over the last couple of years, we've been giving away bits of work to colleagues. So a job will come in and we will pass that work over to people we know in the industry who do the same thing as us. And gradually, we're trying to bring it down. Now, we're only working on 2 projects right now. They're 2 big projects that are due to finish in the summer. One in the late summer, one in autumn. As soon as they are done, finished, retired, literally, I'm going to do something else. I don't know what. I might even quit YouTube. I'm not sure. I just need time to do nothing. There is something I'm thinking about doing instead, but I need a bit of free time in my life to really look into it and work out if it's viable. But that's the plan, and I cannot wait. Can you see my face? I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But because of all that, because of this big project, because of the house move, because of quitting, because of everything, we might not go away until the end of the year now. So I'm not sure. Chichio Blue, I love you as well. You're a lovely cat. Designer homeware like blankets, cushions, plates, etc. Do you think they're worth it? I think if it's your personal style, then yeah. I really like, you know, the Hermes cushions and blankets and stuff. I think they look great. I never say never, but I wouldn't walk in and buy them because they're quite pricey for like a cushion. But I like them. I do like them. Leslie Adina has also said, this is a great one. Have you ever felt pressure to buy luxury items in order to unbox on YouTube? I used to. And do you know something? I do believe that probably a lot of people in the luxury community, if you're watching and you agree or you disagree, let me know in the comments. But I would imagine a lot of us in the luxury community do feel that pressure. And I tell you why. Because when a new bag comes out, particularly if it's quite hot, you do get a lot of you guys in the comments saying, that bag, can you do a review? Can you tell us, is it worth it? Because I might go and buy it. And, you know, that means buying things you might not want, buying things you don't need, and then that in turn could lead to handbag sales where you've kind of amassed all of this stuff. And do you know what? That's not the fault of the creator. That's the nature of the beast. This is how it goes, you know. I think that I see not. I've had these kind of comments aimed at me myself, but I've also seen them aimed at other girls in the community under their videos, kind of saying, "Oh, you're materialistic. You're into consumerism." Going back, and certainly to people that do YouTube as a job, it's not about materialism. It's about keeping up with the trends. It's about giving people what they want to watch. It's not about, oh, I'm a materialistic person and I can't stop shopping. It's about staying ahead of the game. As I say, particularly for those people that do YouTube as a job. So I always go easy on people, you know, when it comes to that kind of thing. Bonnie Lee, you have said, how are you and how is work? So I covered the work thing, all is good. Cannot wait until everything is done with work and then I could, that's the ultimate luxury in life, I tell you. Emily, you had a really good question. Well, all of your questions are very good actually. Sophie, I hope all is well. Do you have an insurance policy for your handbag collection? Yes. So what I do is when I buy a bag, I take a photo of the receipt and I send it to our insurance company and everything is insured under our home insurance policy. Now it's not watertight. It's not watertight. You know, there are certain things that they wouldn't pay out for, but generally on the whole, like if it's like a fire happens, God forbid, or whatever, then they'd be covered. What is frustrating is if you buy, here's another bag I'm selling by the way. If you buy this bag and it's £700 and then 10 years later there's a fire and you want to replace it and it's now £1,200, the insurance company are only going to give you £700, so you'd be out of pocket trying to go and buy it again. I'm sure that there are insurances out there that cover products for appreciation, but I just put it under the home insurance. So, a very long video indeed, and if you are still here, not only a massive thank you but a huge congratulations that you've lasted this long. I hope that you've enjoyed hanging out and just chilling and relaxing. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.